All right, this is Coach McCarthy. Just a quick review. We've been talking about price. We said that it's the easiest to change. We like to associate value based on price. We talked a lot about that. Price can be the determining factor, okay, of whether someone will buy it or not. If the price is too high, it might scare people away. Price is too low, it might scare people away. And we don't always judge things accurately. We act on our perceived value of what something is worth. I think relationships do carry value, as we talked about. And we talked about price perception. The big ones here: if a product is priced higher or lower than its perceived value, then it will not sell. We talk about first impressions. That's what we're looking at. I talked to you about how, especially with clothes, my wife asked me if I like it. My first question is, how much does it cost? And I'm kind of the same way when I look at things too. I need some new shoes, but first thing I look at is, do I like them? Yeah, they're okay. Well, how much do they cost? And then do I really like them that much? And as you grow up, you might start making some decisions like that too when you start spending money. All right, pause for the. All right, so kind of talk through everything we see here on this slide. And we talk about price objectives. How are you setting your price? And maybe more so, why are you setting your price the way it is? And we look at 8 different things that we're going to talk about. So the first one that we talk about is profit maximization. And I think we have to look at what we're talking about by profit and make sure we're on the same page first for that one. All right, so we're going to kind of talk about the first two because they are connected. So we have profit maximization and revenue maximization, and while they are very similar, they are different at the same time. So this is Investopedia. So revenue is the total amount of income generated by the sale of goods or services related to the company's primary operations. So just trying to sell. All right, so we talk about revenue maximization. We are trying to sell as much as we possibly can. All we care about is selling stuff and selling our items. When we talk about profit maximization, so profit is the amount of income that remains after accounting for all expenses, debts, additional income streams, and operating costs. So revenue, money we're making. Revenue minus your stuff equals your profit. All right. And that's kind of where you got to understand the difference. So revenue, straight money. I'm selling stuff, we're creating revenue. When we start subtracting things from it, like our cost of goods, our operating expenses, any money that you have after that, now that's profit. Okay. So we come back to our slides here that we were talking about our pricing objectives. So revenue, trying to sell as much as we possibly can. Profit, trying to make as much as we can, minus, and again, revenue minus your expenses equals profit. Okay, so those two are connected, but they are a little bit different. Okay, another pricing objective that you might have: maximize your quantity. We're just trying to sell as many items as we possibly can. All right, trying to get as many of our products out there as we possibly can. Quality leader, trying to be the best one out there. Okay, and that might be that you are the highest price. Maybe it's not the highest price, but you do have the best product you can possibly put out there. When we talk about status quo, we're just trying to stay right in the middle. Okay, we're not trying to really change anything. We're just trying to stay even with everybody else. We talk about survival, and usually when we talk about survival, we might be talking about a smaller company or something that's at the end of its life cycle, where we're just trying to hang on and we're trying to survive. All right, maybe we're not the biggest, maybe we're not the quality leader, maybe we don't have the best, but we are in the market. And we're just trying to hang on in the market and stick around. And the last two that we have maximize our profit margin, and that's tied into profit maximization, where we are going to be subtracting our costs from our revenue to get our profit. Maximize the profit margin. All right, trying to make as much money as we can at the end of the day. And then the last one that we have, partial cost recovery. All right, so I found a website that I really like and explains things a little bit better, and I will include this with today's thing so you can go read it. And this is from Penn State University. So this is what we were talking about, our partial cost recovery. So a company that has sources of income other than from the sale of products may decide to implement this pricing objective, which has the benefit of providing customers with a quality product at a cost lower than expected. Competitors without other revenue streams to offset lower prices will likely not appreciate using this objective for products in direct competition with one another. Therefore, this pricing objective is best reserved for special situations or products. So, we're going to price our items so that we can get some of the money back. So we're going to cover some of our costs, some of our expenses. We might not cover them all because we're going to be selling other items that we're going to be able to get our money back from. So this really works well in a situation where we have a big business selling or a big corporation selling multiple items. I might lose some money on product A, but I'm making it back on product B. Now, if you don't have a product B and all you have is A, partial cost recovery is not going to be good for you because you're never going to be able to maximize and make enough money to cover your product. So you have to have a product line to be able to do that. You have to offer other items where you can try and get some of that cost back. And as we'll continue reading through because we've talked about these. We talked about profit margin maximization. So maximize the per unit profit margin of a product. This objective is typically applied when the total number of units sold is expected to be low. Profit maximization seeks to garner the greatest dollar amount in profits. This objective is not necessarily tied to the objective of profit margin maximization. All right. Revenue, trying to make as much. Quality leader, use to signal product quality to the consumer by placing prices on products that convey their quality. That's what we've talked about, trying to have the best quality out there. Quantity, maximize the number of items sold. Status quo seeks to keep your product prices in line with the same or similar products. And survival, where a business needs to price at a level that will just allow it to stay in business and cover essential costs. So probably more of a short time on survival. That's not a long-term thing because you're going to have a hard time making enough money to keep going. All right, so good website, and I will definitely add this into our notes for today.